If, like me, you were born in the northwest of England, then it's likely that as a child you spent a day or two out of your weekend or school holiday in the seaside town of Southport in Merseyside. After all, it is a popular tourist town with many attractions aimed at families and young children, such as arcades, boat hire, or the Southport Pleasureland amusement park, now rebranded as Adventure Coast Southport. I personally have spent many a summer day strolling down the coastline with my family. But as I've gotten older, and much of my enthusiasm in life is now generated solely by trains, it's something else that is of particular interest to me regarding this coastal town. That is the historic 15-inch gauge railway it is home to, the Lakeside Miniature Railway Southport, and in this video I'd like to share its history with you. Our story starts in 1910 with a local postman by the name of Griffith von Llewellyn. Llewellyn built the railway with raw materials provided by Bassett Loke on land leased by the Southport Corporation, the railway subsequently being named Llewellyn's Miniature Railway. It was helped by the financial support of three businessmen and a local dentist named Dr. Prosper Ladmore, who originally co-owned the railway with Llewellyn before Llewellyn gained full control in 1913. The first locomotive on the line was a Bassett Loke 442 Class 10 locomotive named George V, which hauled the railway's first trains on the 25th of May 1911. This came just a few weeks after the opening of the 15-inch gauge railway at Rhyl, Wales, which today stands as the world's oldest 15-inch gauge railway. However, due to the fact that Rhyl closed during the Second World War, whereas Lakeside remained open, Southport's railway has the claim to being the world's oldest continuously running 15-inch gauge railway. Speaking of Rhyl, George V's tenure at Lakeside was short-lived as it was sold only a couple of years later to Rhyl Miniature Railway and was replaced by a larger Class 20 locomotive, Prince of Wales. In 1923, a second locomotive was purchased for the railway, another Bassett Loke, Class 20, rather confusingly named Prince Edward of Wales, which came from Fairbourne Railway. The original line ran a half-mile adjacent to the marine lake, where the railway gets its name from. From White City Station, now the Adventure Coast Station, to a terminus just before the pier named Prince's Park. Unfortunately, despite the initial success of the miniature railway, on October 10, 1933, Llewellyn's Miniature Railway Company went into liquidation and the future of the line looked bleak. However, the railway was saved from closure by Harry Barlow, a local engineer who had been involved with the railway for a number of years. It was under Barlow's ownership that the railway's name was changed to Lakeside Miniature Railway, the name it still holds to this day. In 1938, Barlow extended the track northwards under Southport Pier, followed by a sharp 90-degree curve seawards into a new terminus next to Marine Parade, the full line trip now just short of a mile long. This is the same L-shaped layout the railway runs on today. That same year, Barlow suffered a workshop fire that destroyed locomotives and rolling stock. As a result, Barlow designed and built a 462 diesel-electric locomotive, the Duke of Edinburgh, designed to look like an L&ER Class A4 steam locomotive. These locos ended up proving so successful that Barlow built several more for other operators. He retired at the end of 1968 and sold the railway for £20,000 to John Spencer. The steam locos were retired, unfortunately rather fittingly, as this was the same year that British Railways ended steam-hauled mainline passenger services. However, steam would eventually return to Lakeside in 1990 with the acquisition of the 442 locomotive Red Dragon. In 2001, the railway was sold to Don and Jenny Clark and their business partner Graham Leeming. In 2006, the Clarks added a 262 diesel hydraulic tank engine outline to the locomotive roster named Jenny. Sometime around 2010, the station at the northern terminus was subject to an arson attack and had to be completely rebuilt. In 2016, Lakeside was sold again to Norman Wallace, the CEO of the former Pleasureland Southport, now Adventure Coast. However, the railway was forced to close that season as the heavily worn track led to derailments on the sharp curve. Extensive work on the track saw the line reopen the following year, now operating on a one-engine in-steam basis, that engine for the next few years being Jenny. In 2019, the station building at the northern terminus was demolished and one of the platforms stands disused as the track has since been lifted. However, investment has been made at the southern terminus, with a refreshment kiosk and some amusement attractions being present there. By 2020, Jenny was showing signs of heavy wear, and so Lakeside acquired a 1979 280 diesel hydraulic steam outline loco from Windmill Animal Farm in Burscough. This loco is the sole runner on Lakeside Miniature Railway at present day, and is a 7-lamb locomotive. So, what does the future hold for the Lakeside Miniature Railway? It's hard to say, but when I visited recently, it was certainly popular amongst families and young children. So much so that the driver had to couple up to more carriages as there wasn't enough space to fit everybody. Perhaps with a little more investment in advertising, this historic railway could really become a major staple of tourism in Southport once again. As always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, consider leaving a like and subscribing. See you in the next one.